There are moments in life when you feel invisible, overlooked, or forgotten. It's as if the world has moved on without you and you're stuck in the shadows. But let me tell you something profound. God hides you for a reason. When God hides you, it's not punishment, it's preparation. Think about a seed planted deep in the soil. At first glance, it seems buried, but in reality, it's being positioned for growth. The seed doesn't sprout immediately because it needs time to develop roots, to anchor itself, and to gain the strength needed to break through the surface. God's process of hiding you is much the same. He's planting you in the soil of preparation so that when the time comes, you can stand strong and flourish. Sometimes the hiding is for your protection. God sees the dangers you cannot see. He knows the enemy is waiting to attack prematurely, the temptations that could derail your progress, and the distractions that could pull you away from your purpose. Just as a mother bird shields her chicks under her wings, God covers you in the shadows of His plan to ensure your safety. But let's talk about timing. You may feel ready, but God knows when you are truly ready. It's not just about what you want to do. It's about what you are equipped to handle. Think about David, the shepherd boy who was anointed king. Even after Samuel poured the oil over him, David wasn't thrust onto the throne. Instead, God hid him in the fields to develop his courage, his leadership, and his faith. By the time David faced Goliath, he had the confidence and skill necessary to win, not because he was suddenly chosen, but because he had been hidden and prepared. When you're hidden, it can feel like isolation. But isolation isn't a punishment, it's a sacred space. In those moments, God is stripping away distractions and drawing you closer to Him. He's teaching you to depend on His voice, to trust His plan, and to find your identity in Him alone. Think about Moses in the wilderness or Jesus in the desert. Isolation was the crucible that shaped their purpose and prepared them for their missions. When God chooses to hide you, it is often for the profound purpose of preparation. It can feel frustrating and even disheartening to be in a place where you feel unseen or overlooked. But this hidden season is one of the most important stages of your journey. It is in this space that God works on you, shaping your character, refining your abilities, and preparing you for what lies ahead. Imagine the life of a seed. When it is planted, it disappears beneath the soil, completely out of sight. To the casual observer, it may seem as though nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, critical processes are taking place. The seed is growing roots, anchoring itself firmly into the ground to ensure it has a solid foundation. Without this hidden phase, the seed could not withstand the challenges that come with sprouting and growing above the soil. Similarly, God plants you in seasons of obscurity to develop the unseen parts of your life, your character, your faith, and your resilience. Being hidden is not a sign of rejection, it is a sign of preparation. God knows the plans He has for you, and those plans often require you to grow in ways that can only happen in solitude. This season is not about public recognition, but about private refinement. In the quiet, away from the spotlight, God molds you into the person you need to be to handle the responsibilities and challenges of your future. Preparation in hiding often means learning lessons that can't be taught in the public eye. It's in these moments of quiet that God addresses your weaknesses, sharpens your strengths, and instills in you the wisdom needed for what lies ahead. Consider David, who was anointed king while still a young shepherd boy. Though he was chosen, he was not immediately placed on the throne. Instead, he returned to the fields to tend sheep. This was not a delay in his calling, but a necessary phase of preparation. In the fields, David learned courage by protecting his flock from predators, honed his leadership by caring for the sheep, and deepened his faith by relying on God in the solitude of the wilderness. These experiences prepared him for the challenges he would face as king. God's preparation is thorough because He wants you to succeed, not just temporarily, but for the long haul. He understands that premature exposure can lead to failure. Without the foundation laid during your hidden season, you might crumble under the weight of the responsibilities that come with your purpose. Like a building that requires a strong foundation before the walls and roof can be erected, your life requires a solid base of character, faith, and skills to support your destiny. During this time, God also tests your faith and patience. Will you trust him even when you can't see the full picture? Will you remain faithful to your calling even when it feels like no one is watching? These questions are crucial because the answers reveal the depth of your trust in God. If you cannot trust him in the hidden moments, how will you trust him when you are in the spotlight? This phase of preparation is not just about what you are becoming, but also about what God is removing from your life. In the hidden season, distractions are stripped away, and God works on breaking unhealthy habits, removing toxic influences, and reshaping your mindset. It is a process of purification that ensures you are not carrying unnecessary baggage into your next season. This pruning can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary for growth. Consider Joseph, who was hidden away in prison for years before stepping into his role as a leader in Egypt. During his time in confinement, Joseph's character was refined and his faith was tested. What appeared to be a setback was actually a setup for something greater. By the time he was called to interpret Pharaoh's dream, Joseph was ready not just because of his gift of interpretation, but because of the patience, humility, and wisdom he gained during his hidden years. God's timing is perfect and his preparation is intentional. If you rush this process or try to force yourself into the spotlight prematurely, you risk missing out on the fullness of what God has planned for you. Trusting God's timing means understanding that every moment of hiding serves a purpose. It is not wasted time, it is invested time. In these moments of hiddenness, lean into the process. Seek God in prayer, study his word, and allow him to do the necessary work in your heart. Don't despise the quiet moments. Instead, embrace them as opportunities to grow closer to him and to develop the qualities that will sustain you in the next season. Remember, the best transformations happen out of sight. When the time comes for God to reveal you, you will step into your purpose fully prepared. The world may marvel at your sudden emergence, but you will know that it was the result of the unseen work God did in your life during the hidden season. You will not only be equipped to handle the challenges of your calling, but also grounded in the knowledge that it was God's hand that prepared you for this moment. So if you find yourself hidden, do not despair. Trust that God is at work, preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. Embrace this season with faith and patience, knowing that when the time is right, God will bring you out of hiding and into the fullness of your destiny. When God hides you in the shadows, it is often a deliberate act of divine protection. It can feel isolating, frustrating, or even unfair, but what may seem like rejection or invisibility is actually a safeguard against dangers, distractions, and adversities you may not yet see or understand. In these moments, God's hand is actively shielding you, ensuring you are safe while he works to fulfill his purpose in your life. To understand this, think about the nature of shadows. Shadows are not places of abandonment, but of shelter. They provide relief from the intensity of direct exposure. Just as a tree casts a shadow to protect its roots from the scorching heat, God creates a space of covering to protect you from the pressures and perils of premature exposure. This shadow is not a place of punishment, but of refuge, a sanctuary where you are hidden until the time is right. Sometimes God protects you from external dangers. There are enemies you may not even be aware of, people or circumstances that could harm you if you were prematurely exposed. Just as a shepherd guides his flock away from unseen predators, God's protection in the shadows ensures you are not vulnerable to attacks that could derail your destiny. The world is full of challenges and influences that can corrupt, discourage, or even destroy the purpose God has placed within you. By keeping you hidden, he allows you to grow in safety, gaining the strength and wisdom needed to face the world when the time comes. But the shadows don't just protect you from others, they also protect you from yourself. Sometimes the greatest dangers lie within pride, impatience, insecurity, or unpreparedness. These internal battles can be just as destructive as external threats. God, in his wisdom, shields you until he knows you are ready to face not only the world, but also yourself. He uses the shadows to refine your character, teaching you humility, patience, and reliance on him. Consider the story of Moses. Before he became the great leader who delivered Israel from Egypt, Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness. This was a season of being hidden, a time when God protected him from the weight of his calling until he was prepared to carry it. The wilderness was not a punishment, it was a sanctuary where Moses could grow in faith and character without the pressures of leadership. When the time came for him to step into his purpose, he was equipped with the strength and wisdom gained in those years of obscurity. God's protection in the shadows is also about preserving your potential. Like a delicate plant that needs to be nurtured in a controlled environment before being exposed to the elements, God ensures that you are not prematurely exposed to circumstances that could stunt your growth. In the shadows, you are free to develop, to make mistakes without judgment, and to learn the lessons necessary for your future. This period of protection allows you to build a solid foundation so that when you emerge, you can stand strong and unshaken. This divine protection also extends to timing. God knows the exact moment when you are ready to step into the spotlight. If you step out too soon, you may not yet have the tools, experience, or maturity to handle the responsibilities that come with your calling. God's timing is not about delaying you, it's about positioning you for success. He hides you until the moment when you are fully prepared to shine. The shadows also serve as a place of intimacy with God. In the quiet and stillness, away from the noise and distractions of the world, you can hear His voice more clearly. It is in these moments that God whispers His plans to your heart, reveals His purpose for your life, and strengthens your faith. This intimacy is crucial because it grounds you in your identity and anchors you in His love. When you eventually step out of the shadows, this deep connection with God will sustain you through the challenges and trials that come with your calling. Preserving your value begins with recognizing that you possess inherent worth that no external factor can diminish. Your value is not dictated by circumstances, the opinions of others, or even your own mistakes. It is rooted in who you are at your core and the unique qualities you bring to the world. However, to maintain and protect this value, you must actively nurture it, guard it from threats, and ensure it remains uncompromised. One of the most critical aspects of preserving your value is self-awareness. Understanding your strengths, weaknesses, talents, and boundaries allows you to navigate life with clarity. When you know who you are, you can set boundaries that protect your time, energy, and peace. These boundaries are not walls to keep people out, but rather safeguards to ensure that your inner world remains intact. Without clear boundaries, it becomes easy for others to exploit or undervalue you, which can diminish your sense of self-worth over time. Self-respect is another cornerstone of preserving your value. Respecting yourself means treating yourself with kindness, care, and dignity. It means refusing to settle for less than you deserve in relationships, work, and opportunities. When you respect yourself, you send a message to the world about how you expect to be treated. This not only influences how others interact with you, but also reinforces your belief in your own value. Respecting yourself involves making choices that align with your values and prioritizing your well-being over the approval of others. To preserve your value, you must also be selective about the company you keep. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift, encourage, and inspire you enhances your sense of worth. On the other hand, being around those who belittle, manipulate, or take advantage of you can erode your confidence and self-esteem. Choose relationships that are mutual, respectful, and built on trust. These connections will nurture your growth and reinforce your belief in your own value. Your words and actions also play a significant role in preserving your value. The way you speak to yourself matters. Self-talk can either build you up or tear you down. Positive affirmations, encouragement, and forgiveness for your mistakes cultivate a healthy relationship with yourself. Similarly, the way you act reflects how much you value yourself. Keeping promises to yourself, pursuing your goals, and standing up for what you believe in all demonstrate a commitment to honoring your worth. Another essential element of preserving your value is recognizing the importance of continual growth. Just as valuable assets require maintenance and improvement, so does your inner worth. Personal development, whether through education, skill building, or self-reflection, ensures that you are always becoming a better version of yourself. Growth does not mean you are not already valuable. It simply means you are expanding your capacity to fulfill your potential and contribute to the world. Preserving your value also involves resilience. Life's challenges, failures, and setbacks can sometimes make you question your worth. In these moments, it is crucial to remember that your value is not diminished by external circumstances. Resilience allows you to bounce back, learn from your experiences, and emerge stronger. It is through resilience that you reaffirm your worth and demonstrate to yourself and others that no situation can define you. Self-care is another vital practice in preserving your value. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being ensures that you have the strength and energy to face life's demands. Self-care is not selfish, it is a necessary investment in your ability to thrive. When you prioritize rest, nutrition, exercise, and activities that bring you joy, you show yourself that you are worth the effort. This reinforces your belief in your own value and allows you to give your best to the world. Gratitude also plays a role in preserving your value. When you appreciate who you are and what you have, you focus on abundance rather than lack. Gratitude shifts your perspective, allowing you to see the positive aspects of your life and recognize your progress. This positive mindset reinforces your sense of worth and helps you approach challenges with confidence and hope. One of the greatest threats to preserving your value is comparison. Comparing yourself to others often leads to feelings of inadequacy, envy, or self-doubt. It is important to remember that your journey is unique and your value is not diminished by someone else's success. Celebrate your individuality and focus on your own growth rather than measuring yourself against others. This mindset fosters self-acceptance and helps you maintain a strong sense of worth. Finally, preserving your value means trusting in your purpose. You were created for a reason, and your value is tied to the unique contributions you are meant to make in the world. When you align your life with your purpose, you live authentically and fulfill your potential. This alignment reinforces your belief in your worth and ensures that your actions reflect your true self. In preserving your value, you honor not only yourself but also the Creator who designed you with intention and care. You were made with inherent worth, and it is your responsibility to protect and nurture that gift. By practicing self-awareness, self-respect, resilience, and gratitude, you ensure that your value remains intact and unshaken. You become a light to the world, shining brightly and inspiring others to recognize and honor their own worth. Sometimes in life, it feels as though you are hidden, unseen, or overlooked. Opportunities seem to pass you by, recognition feels elusive, and you wonder if your contributions will ever be noticed. However, being hidden is not the same as being forgotten. There is a powerful purpose in being concealed from view. It is preparation for revelation. To be revealed at the right time, in the right way, and to the right people requires a season of being hidden, where growth, refinement, and readiness occur away from the public eye. Being hidden is a time of preparation. Just as a seed is buried in the soil, seemingly out of sight, it is during this hidden phase that the most crucial work happens. The seed takes root, drawing nourishment from the earth and building a strong foundation for what will one day break through the surface. Similarly, when you are hidden, you are being rooted, your character is being strengthened, your skills are being sharpened, and your purpose is being solidified. Without this foundational work, you risk being exposed too soon, unready to handle the challenges and responsibilities that come with being seen. This hidden phase is also a time of growth. Growth rarely happens in the spotlight. It requires solitude, introspection, and dedication. In the quiet moments away from the noise of the world, you have the space to confront your weaknesses, address your fears, and develop your strengths. You gain clarity about who you are and what you are called to do. It is in these hidden places that you discover the depth of your potential and begin to align your actions with your purpose. Protection is another reason for being hidden. Sometimes you are concealed because the world is not yet ready to receive you, or because the environment you are in is not conducive to your flourishing. Being hidden shields you from harm, allowing you to develop without the pressures or distractions that come with visibility. It protects your dreams from premature exposure, where they might be misunderstood, criticized, or sabotaged. Just as a caterpillar is protected within its cocoon as it transforms into a butterfly, you are shielded in your hidden phase until you are ready to emerge. Hiddenness also fosters humility. When you are unseen, you learn to rely on external validation, but on your inner convictions and faith. You are reminded that your value does not come from applause or accolades, but from the essence of who you are. This humility is essential because it ensures that when you are revealed, you remain grounded. Pride can quickly undo what preparation has built, but humility preserves your growth and keeps you aligned with your purpose. Trust is another key element in being hidden. Trusting the process requires patience and faith, knowing that the timing of your revelation is not in your hands, but in the hands of a higher power. When you are hidden, it can be tempting to force your way into visibility, but this often leads to burnout, disappointment, or failure. Trusting that you are hidden for a reason allows you to rest in the knowledge that your time will come. It teaches you to value the journey rather than rushing to the destination. Hiddenness is not stagnation, it is active preparation. During this time, you are being equipped with the skills, knowledge, and experiences necessary for what lies ahead. It is a period of learning and refining where mistakes can be made without the harsh scrutiny of the public eye. This preparation ensures that when you are revealed, you are ready to step into your purpose with confidence and competence. Another profound aspect of being hidden is that it creates anticipation. Just as a masterpiece is unveiled after careful craftsmanship, your hidden season builds anticipation for your eventual revelation. When the time comes, your impact will be greater because you have been prepared, refined, and preserved. The unveiling is not just about you being seen, it is about the world receiving what you have to offer in its fullness. Revelation is not just about being visible, it is about being purposeful. When the time is right, your hidden season will make sense. You will realize that every delay, every moment of obscurity was part of a divine plan to prepare you for something greater. The relationships you've built, the lessons you've learned, and the growth you've experienced will all converge to position you exactly where you need to be. In the end, being hidden is a gift. It is a time to grow without pressure, to build without distractions, and to prepare without fear. It is a season that ensures your roots are deep, your foundation is strong, and your purpose is clear. When you are finally revealed, it will not be by accident or coincidence, but by design. You will step into the light not as someone seeking validation, but as someone ready to fulfill their calling. So embrace your hidden season. Know that it is not wasted but purposeful. Trust that when the time is right, you will be revealed in a way that brings glory to your journey and meaning to your experiences. You are hidden not to be forgotten, but to be prepared, protected, and positioned for the moment when you will shine. And when that moment comes, it will be worth the wait. Timing is one of the most critical factors in fulfilling your purpose and achieving your destiny. In life, doing the right thing at the wrong time can lead to failure, frustration, and unnecessary pain. Timing is not just about patience, it's about aligning yourself with the flow of events, opportunities, and divine orchestration. Understanding the importance of timing and trusting in its process is a mark of wisdom and maturity. It requires discernment, discipline, and above all, faith. In every area of life, whether relationships, career, personal growth, or spiritual pursuits, timing matters. Take a seed, for example. A farmer knows that planting a seed during the wrong season will yield little to no harvest. The seed has potential, but if it's planted too soon, it will not survive. Similarly, there are seasons in our lives when certain actions, decisions, or pursuits are meant to unfold. Acting prematurely can derail the process, just as waiting too long can cause you to miss opportunities. God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with our plans. As humans, we often want things to happen immediately. We live in a culture that values instant gratification, where waiting is seen as an inconvenience rather than a virtue. But timing is not about convenience, it's about preparation and alignment. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows when you are truly ready for the next step in your journey. He doesn't operate on human timetables, but on a divine schedule that ensures everything falls into place at the right moment. Consider the story of David. He was anointed as king while still a shepherd boy. Imagine the frustration he might have felt, knowing he had the promise of kingship, but still tending sheep in obscurity. Yet David understood that timing was key. He didn't rush to the throne or try to force his way into leadership. Instead, he trusted the process, allowing God to prepare him for the weight of his calling. The years he spent in waiting were not wasted, they were formative. During that time, he developed his character, honed his skills, and deepened his relationship with God. When the right time came, David was ready to step into his destiny. Waiting for the right timing requires faith. It's a test of your trust in God's plan and your ability to surrender control. It's easy to feel anxious or impatient when things don't happen as quickly as you'd like. But faith reminds you that what God has for you will not pass you by. If He has promised something, it will come to fruition, not a moment too soon or too late. Trusting in divine timing means believing that every delay, detour, and pause serves a purpose. Timing is also a matter of preparation. Before you can step into a new season, you must be equipped for the challenges and responsibilities that come with it. Imagine stepping into an opportunity for which you are unprepared. The very thing you long for could become overwhelming, or worse, it could fail because you weren't ready. God, in His wisdom, often withholds certain blessings until you have the maturity, skills, and character to handle them. This period of preparation may feel like waiting, but it's an essential part of the process. In addition to preparation, timing often protects you. There are moments when you may feel ready for something, but God sees what you cannot. He knows the obstacles, dangers, and unseen challenges that lie ahead. His timing is designed not only to align you with opportunity, but also to shield you from harm. What feels like a delay may actually be a form of divine protection, keeping you from stepping into a situation that could harm you or derail your progress. The right timing also brings clarity. When you wait for the right moment, you can see things more clearly and make decisions with wisdom rather than haste. Acting too soon often leads to regret because you may not fully understand the implications of your choices. Timing allows you to gain perspective, to assess your options, and to align your actions with your purpose. Opportunities that align with divine timing are marked by peace. When the time is right, doors will open effortlessly and things will fall into place. This doesn't mean there won't be challenges, but there will be a sense of assurance that you are walking in the right direction. Conversely, forcing your way into opportunities before the right time often leads to stress, confusion, and frustration. Learning to discern the peace that accompanies divine timing is a valuable skill that comes through prayer, reflection, and a close relationship with God. Timing is also about patience. Patience is not passive, it's active trust in God's process. It's about waiting with expectation, knowing that while you wait, God is at work. He is orchestrating events, shaping circumstances, and preparing you for what's to come. Patience is not about standing still, it's about growing, learning, and trusting in the unseen work of God. When the time is right, everything will come together. Doors will open, opportunities will arise, and you will be ready to step into your destiny. Until that moment, trust the process. Use the waiting period to grow in wisdom, deepen your faith, and prepare yourself for what lies ahead. Timing is everything, and when you align yourself with God's timing, you position yourself for success that is not only lasting but also deeply fulfilling. Remember, delay is not denial. What is meant for you will not pass you by. Trust in the timing, knowing that God is never late. He is always on time, and His plans for your life are greater than anything you could imagine. Be patient, stay faithful, and rest in the assurance that when the moment comes, it will be perfect. Growth often takes place in the most unexpected and uncomfortable conditions. Isolation, though often perceived as a period of loneliness or abandonment, is one of the most fertile grounds for personal transformation. In isolation, distractions are minimized, the noise of the outside world fades, and the soul is given the space to reflect, grow, and realign. It is not punishment but preparation, a period where the deepest work on the self occurs, shaping character, sharpening vision, and solidifying resilience. In times of isolation, you are stripped of the validation and dependence that can come from external relationships and circumstances. This stripping away is not to harm you, but to reveal what is truly within you. It is a moment when you are faced with yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, fears, and dreams. This self-confrontation is uncomfortable yet transformative because growth begins with an honest assessment of where you are. When you cannot hide behind the approval or opinions of others, you are forced to define your worth, purpose, and identity from within. Isolation teaches you to depend on inner strength rather than external support. It pushes you to dig deep, to uncover resources of resilience and creativity that you didn't know you had. When you are alone, you are often forced to solve problems, make decisions, and navigate challenges without leaning heavily on others. This self-reliance breeds confidence and prepares you for greater responsibilities in life. You become less reactive to the opinions of others and more grounded in your convictions. This independence of thought and action is the hallmark of maturity and leadership. During periods of isolation, time becomes your ally. Without the constant pull of external commitments, you are gifted with an opportunity to reflect and recalibrate. Reflection is a powerful tool for growth because it allows you to analyze past actions, learn from mistakes, and gain clarity on your goals. In the stillness of solitude, you can plan your next steps with intentionality. Instead of moving aimlessly or being driven by urgency, you begin to move with purpose, understanding that every decision shapes the trajectory of your life. Isolation is also a time for pruning. In gardening, pruning involves cutting away dead or overgrown branches to encourage healthy growth. Similarly, isolation helps you identify what in your life needs to be cut away. These could be unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, or outdated beliefs. Without the influence of external noise, you can clearly see what is holding you back and take steps to remove it. Though this process can be painful, it is necessary for long-term growth and flourishing. In isolation, you also cultivate patience. Growth is rarely instantaneous. It requires time, effort, and perseverance. When you are alone, you are more likely to notice the incremental changes within yourself. You begin to appreciate the process rather than just the outcome. Patience teaches you to trust the journey, knowing that the small, consistent steps you take now will lead to significant transformation in the future. This perspective shifts your focus from quick fixes to sustainable progress. One of the greatest gifts of isolation is the deepening of your spiritual life. In the quiet moments of solitude, you often find yourself turning to a higher power for guidance, strength, and comfort. This connection provides a sense of peace and purpose, reminding you that you are never truly alone. Spiritual growth often accelerates during isolation because you are more attuned to the whispers of the divine. You gain insight into your purpose, strength to endure challenges, and faith to move forward despite uncertainties. Creativity also flourishes in isolation. Many of history's greatest innovations, works of art, and breakthroughs were birthed during periods of solitude. When you are alone, your mind is free to wander, explore, and imagine. Without the constraints of external input or judgment, you can think more deeply and creatively about solutions to problems or ways to express yourself. This creative energy is not only fulfilling, but also a powerful tool for advancing your goals and dreams. Isolation is a teacher of resilience. It exposes you to the discomfort of being alone, but it also shows you that you can endure and thrive despite it. Resilience is not just about surviving difficult times, it's about emerging from them stronger, wiser, and more capable. Isolation tests your ability to persevere and adapt, qualities that are essential for overcoming the inevitable challenges of life. Moreover, growth in isolation equips you to connect more authentically with others. When you've taken the time to understand yourself, address your flaws, and refine your character, you bring a more whole and genuine version of yourself into relationships. You become less needy and more giving, less reactive and more understanding. The time you spend alone ultimately enhances the quality of your interactions with others. Isolation is not the end of the journey, it's the preparation for what lies ahead. It is the soil where the seeds of greatness are planted and nurtured. Embracing isolation as an opportunity for growth rather than a period of despair transforms your perspective. It allows you to see that every moment of solitude is a gift, a chance to become the person you were created to be. When the time comes to step out of isolation, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more prepared to face the world and fulfill your purpose.